Are you interested in finding out about what a cake has in common with UX design? Good, because guess what? We'll be talking about that today. Hello, my name is Ali and I'm here to share some lessons from my personal journey that spans 2 decades, weaving in and out of architecture and UX design, but you already know that. When I started, I wasn't aware that the skills that I would be learning over the next few years would really help me tackle other industries as well. So fast forward 20 years, I'm happily working as a UX designer, solving real life problems. So let's talk about that cake. I want to share with you that if you are an architect and you also understand how cake works, you'll be able to perfectly transition to UX design, well, almost. So let's talk about the cake, shall we? So, Jessie James Garrette, as you can see over here, came up with a UX framework that is just like a layered cake. Each and every tier building on the previous one to enhance the overall experience. So I like to call it the cake framework. He starts with a base layer that sets the foundation of the experience and ends up with the top layer that is a surface layer, just like a cake's outer frosting and decorations to make it more functional and yummy. So in between there are 3 more layers that can help structure the UX framework. So let me explain the 5 layers in detail. Number 1, strategy layer, user needs and site objectives. So this is the foundation, much like the bottom layer of a cake. So it involves determining the core purpose of the product and understanding the needs of the user. Just as you decide the main flavor of your cake to please the guests. In architecture, the strategy involves understanding the client's vision and the functional needs of the people who will occupy the space. So this includes considerations of the building's purpose, the anticipated user behaviors, and the overall goals for the space. Similarly, in UX design, the strategy layer is about aligning the product's objectives with the needs of the users and other stakeholders involved in the product. Number 2, the scope layer. Functional specifications and content requirements. Wow, that's a mouthful. So next comes defining what features the product will have and what content it needs to include. So this layer adds to the foundation. On top, similar to adding a filling to the cake that enhances the base flavor and with these additional elements and textures. So the scope in architecture defines what will be built. It includes detailed descriptions of rooms, materials, and features that addresses the identified needs from the strategy perspective. In UX design, scope consists of functional specifications, what the product will do, and content requirements, what the information it will convey. Number 3, structure layer. Interaction design and information architecture. So this layer is all about organizing various layers of complexity to ensure that they work well together by setting a firm foundation comprised of the most important principles. In architecture, the structure involves the organization of physical spaces to facilitate effective movement and interaction. This includes the layout of the rooms and the flow between different areas. We're not talking about the physical structure here. Translated into UX design, this involves interaction design and information architecture. How users will interact with the product and how information is organized. Architects can apply this understanding of spatial flows to this digital navigation paths, ensuring that the users can move through the website or app intuitively, just as they would through a well-designed building. But before we move to the next point, Dum-Dum. Dum-Dum. If you are interested in design thinking and solving complex problems through established frameworks and models, I have a weekly newsletter that you should definitely join in. Go to www.ddumdum.com and sign up for free. Number 4, skeleton layer. interface design, navigation design, and information design. This layer involves defining the interface, navigation, information design to ensure a seamless interaction in the product. In architecture, this corresponds to detailed design elements within a building, such as the placement of the windows for optimal lighting, for example, or the ergonomic layout of a kitchen. So in UX design, the skeleton layer refers to designing the interface where information and controls are presented, and navigation, how users will move through the information, and the presentation of the information itself. Number 5, the surface layer or the visual design layer. So this is the top layer. This is like the final decoration and frosting. Just like on the cake, this layer affects the visual appeal, colors, decoration, and finishing touches. In UX, it represents the visual design of the interface where aesthetics meet functionality to deliver a pleasing and effective user experience. The final touches in architecture involve the selection of materials, colors, and textures that make a space inviting and more effective. Similarly, the surface layer in UX design comprises of the visual appearance of the website or the application. It's about making the product not only usable but also visually really pleasing. Alright, so by leveraging Jessie James Garrette's elements of user experience, or what I really like to call the cake framework, architects can effectively translate their skills from the digital domain by layering information in the correct order. Okay, now go and make that cake. That's it for me, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel.